Welcome to the latest edition of ReFrame Your Thinking with Coach Ford, and I am your host, Justin Ford. I'm excited to bring a fun topic to you today. I posted this question on my Facebook a couple of days ago, and it's why do people struggle? And the topic of this is going to be why do people struggle, right? And this is episode 4. And I got a bigger whiteboard for you guys who don't notice. The light was driving me crazy. I had it way up here and it was just driving me nuts. I still need to fix this light, but that's here nor there. And I've said this in the last 2 videos, so I'm going to get it fixed. So why do most people struggle? This is kind of a weighted topic if you really think about it, because society's given us this arbitrary number of we're supposed to have things figured out when we're supposed to have it figured out. And that is so um, frustrating and daunting, and the things that people put themselves in, right? And then society compounds and they submit it and they try submitting your legacy to what they want to see because that's what you've told the world. Like, hey, this is who I am. And so for me, one of the biggest challenges and struggles is getting back to who I know I can be and who I am. And, tuning out my own voice and tuning out the other people, because you'll start doing a job or a career and people are like, oh, this is you, right? So I coach and I'm a teacher, and instantly like, you're boxed into coaching and teaching. That's all you're supposed to be. And it's like, no, I'm an entrepreneur. At the heart of hearts, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to be a business person. And that's who I'm going to truly be. And so part of that is not letting people, put me in this arbitrary system of like, well, why do you want to do that? Or I can't believe you're doing that. And it's like, yo, get out the way, right? And so I love that song, by the way, for all those people who know Ludacris and that song and grew up in the era. But, they don't know what they truly want. And I know what I truly want. I love coaching, right? And I love being an entrepreneur. And so I love the idea of blending the two. And, I ran from this idea of being an entrepreneur and coach. And that's something that I wanted to be. I wanted to be an entrepreneur and I wanted to coach. So now I'm blending those two things into an online virtual coaching business. And so I know what I wanted. And somewhere I got derailed because life was giving me a ton of choices, right? And giving me a ton of situations. And I was just making excuses on why I couldn't do it, having a family and all those things. And stop me if you heard this, right? Like, yeah, I got kids and I got this situation and I can't pursue my goals and dreams like, oh my gosh. And it's like you live your whole life like this and you hope to figure it out and you really hope to that things will just kind of fall in place. And for some people, it really does. And for some people, if that's the life that takes them, fine. But that doesn't give you the right to knock somebody else off what their path and journey is and their beliefs. And most of the time, what I've learned, it's here. It's the thinking in here. And that's the point of reframe your thinking, is because we got to reframe your thinking. And the thing that I noticed I work with the youth, right? And so I work with adults. And one thing that I notice is it starts early in life, people not believing in themselves. And it starts in teenage years, it starts youth, where other kids or people will say, you can't do this, look at you. And they'll make fun of you and they'll say all kinds of things. And then that gets into your subconscious and you're like, maybe they're right, I can't do this, I can't do it. And then that snowballs into who you are as an adult. And so that's really sad and it's frustrating, because if we really would, and somebody posted this on my Facebook, dealing with past traumas. And so traumas come in all kinds of shapes, form, and I'm not a social worker or a mental health professional, and I'm not going to, but I am going to say what I view from the coaching perspective of trauma. And those past experiences really shape our future. And because if we will be real with ourselves, we've been told negative outcomes our entire life, right? And we've only told ourselves negative outcomes. We've only told ourselves lies. I'm not saying every single thing you told yourself, but I mean that really big thing, that really the career defining moment where you told yourself, I want to be a doctor, and you went way off and you're like, oh, I can't be a doctor anymore. And I had this conversation with a player of mine the other day, and I was thinking to myself, when do we start changing, and we truly don't know what we want, because there's so much to do in the world today, and because there's so much to do, we lack of clarity and focus, and then that shapes our confidence. If I first it started with my thinking. It started with my subconscious here of saying, no, I'm going to do this. And I'm really going to lock in and focus on the ability to be an entrepreneur and work on some of the things that I need to work on. And so, and then the three, talk themselves out of it. You know, their passions and their hopes and things that they want to accomplish. When we first started Ford X Basketball Academy, you know, I was presented with an opportunity to start, and I said yes. You know, in my heart of hearts, that's something that I wanted to do, something I wanted to pursue, and it was a resounding yes. Well, absolutely. You know, one, I wasn't doing it by myself, and so I had a team. So this is really important. Team. They don't know who to ask for help. They don't know who to ask for help. They don't know where to start. And because they don't know where to start, it paralyzes. But you know how to start a job. You know how to put your application in. You know how to trade your time for a small amount of wage or a salary for a wage. And so because those things are easy and it's hard. And it's hard quitting that type of mentality. It's hard quitting that lifestyle. And we all struggle with it. Like, I'm going through my own journal right now. Like, you know, I have a lot of hard decisions, a lot of hard conversations I'm going to have. But I can't allow the opinions and thoughts of others to determine how I'm going to shape the things that I want to do, because I have a very clear vision of Ford X Empire and Ford X LLC and the things that I want the company to transpire to be. And so it's interesting to me. It's an interesting journey. That these three things are the main pillars, and if people would be honest and give me feedback. If you're watching this video, comment, message me at fordxmedia@gmail.com, or go on my website and subscribe to my site, subscribe to this YouTube channel. And I'm not going to make this long. You know, I was listening to a video the other day, and they were talking about, if you cannot say this to a third grader, you don't know what you're talking about. But here's the thing. If you ask a third grader what they want a lot of things, right? They don't know what they want. They want a lot. You know, I asked my first grader, I was like, what do you want? What do you want to become? And she very played it. She sticks with it. I want to be a hairstylist. Okay, great. Be a hairstylist. And so you learn a lot from different people. And if you're willing to be a constant learner, I think the biggest struggle, and hear me, out of all these things, and I didn't put it on the board for a reason, and I would say above all, constant learners. You know, above all, you have to be constant learners, right? And it's important to be constant learners. So I'm going to leave this up on the board. I'm going to turn this so you guys can see it a little bit. Being constant learners and learning about yourself and not settling. And when I mean settling, I mean, what are the things in your life you're accepting and not saying no to? Like, what are those things? What are the challenges and behaviors that you're saying? I'm turn back this way because I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna take the board over here now. What are those areas? You know, why do you think that is? You know, for me, and what I noticed dealing with the youth and dealing with the thoughts is your circle of influence makes a huge difference. Right? So here's what I mean by your circle of influence. If this is your ground, say this is your other ground, right? And you plant the seed of doubt, right? And you tell all your friends about it. Oh my gosh, I have this amazing idea, right? And they're like, why? How? That's cool. Little business. Are you still doing that? Right? So this plant gets covered up in all kinds of nastiness, and it's supposed to sprout through this. And some people do it. But then I would ask these people, why do you buy from Walmart? Why do you buy from Apple? Why do you buy from Nike? Why do you buy from Under Armour? Why do you buy from Dell? Why do you buy from Ford, Chevy? And the list goes on and on and on. Why do you buy from these people? Why are you not calling their business little? Because at one point, all these corporations were little, right? And all these corporations started somewhere. And so It's usually the master before the student concept. And here's another nugget. You always got to be a student of life. And so I go back to being a constant learner and why people struggle. One, above all, not being a constant learner, being a student, always looking to learn and being receptive to learn and being receptive to the things that life is presenting you. And so I like to draw. Shout out to Mr. Shimbra in my art class. Now, I'm not a stellar artist like he is, but anyways, I started to enjoy some things, and I started to learn some things in that class. And the cool part about art is it's a expression, right? And so learning to express yourself and communicate with people is so huge, right? And so that's my drawing. This is my little tree and stuff like that. And so do a little stick figure here and there, and there. It's a bike. That's his hat. Okay. He's just cruising down the road there. And so you gotta be creative and you gotta enjoy your life and you gotta tune out people who say, well, you look goofy, right? It's like, what? Or why would you look at him? You need to lose some weight. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's like, yeah, accept that. Take it. Be like, okay, great, thanks. And sometimes you got to hit them a little harsh with like, thanks, bro. I got it. Cool. Like, okay, cool. And what are you trying to prove? Like, I'm very not nice when with those kind of conversations because you have to start somewhere. Ask every person, when did they start to walk? When did they start to run? When did they start to crawl? When did they start to speak words? When did you learn to have an artistic vision? When did you learn to do the thing that you're doing? You go into a job and you trade off what you can do and learn skill sets, but you don't continue to work on yourself. And so I actually wrote a book, and my book release is 05/05/24. Just do your job. Number one job is to grow and develop yourself. That's your number one job, is to grow and develop yourself. So you guys can't see that, I'll scoot it in for you. It's to grow yourself. So this is my 5th video. Now, what most people don't know is I coach basketball. If you do know, great, fantastic. Shout out to Fort X Basketball Academy. And so people always plant negative thoughts in your head. And so you have to learn to, and here's the next thing I would challenge you, expect positive outcomes. Expect great things for your life. And count the small wins. Count the small wins. Expect positive outcomes. Expect great things to happen, not just good. Count the small wins, right? For me, this is a small win. I made a challenge to myself, and what was the challenge? I wanted to get 20 episodes. 20 episodes of ReFrame Your Thinking done. Why? Because I like data, so I want to challenge myself. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. People overcomplicate this. Make it real simple. If I ask my daughter, what does she think this is? There's a tree you're riding a bike. If I give her a picture, it's real simple. How do you ride the bike? I don't know, Dad. Pedal. Right? You got to do one pedal at a time. You weren't great at riding a bike. When I first started riding a bike, I wasn't good at riding bikes. I don't understand why we believe we're supposed to be so great at things. And sometimes you got to learn how to quit things. Okay? And here's a great book. This is a good book. I'm a book guy. Okay? Quit. This is a good book. Okay? Sometimes you got to learn to say, hey, this isn't for me. I'm not saying quit whenever because you never gave an attempt. You can give attempts, and if it doesn't work, fine. It's not what I'm saying. Sometimes it's just not for you. And I tell players this. I'm like, hey, I talk to players and parents like, hey, this is probably not for this person. Um, but you never know until you start trying. You never know until you do the things. And so I would challenge you to do the thing that you're worried about, and to be grateful, gratitude. These are all gratitude things. Gratitude. 3 pillars of gratitude. These are my pillars of gratitude. I keep forgetting you got to move this here. The 3 pillars of gratitude, right? So I'm going to turn this here so I can do 3 pillars of gratitude here. Okay. You know, 3 pillars, gratitude. Expect positive experiences, count the small wins, expect great things to happen. And I firmly believe if you can do these things, people wouldn't struggle as much. Here's why they struggle with it: because they don't track it. You don't track it. You just live life aimlessly. Track. Count things. Don't be lazy about your life. Here's the thing. Here's the hard truth. You're being lazy about your own life. That's just the struggle. We're being lazy about our life, right? Like I'm attest to this. Like I looked at the scale one day and I weighed way too much. That's on me, right? Because I got lazy. I got complacent. Life started beating me down. Life started stripping me down, and so I'm challenging myself to be more consistent, to do these things, right? So I'm not jumping online to tell you some facade. I'm here to tell you the truth. I cannot stand the highlight culture. You turn on, they want you to do these 15-second reels, which great, shorts, whatever you call it. I just can't, I can't handle it because they want you to do these highlight reels and make you believe that things are greater without the work. You can have great things, but it's not going to happen in a microwave. It's not a microwave approach. Life isn't microwavable. We want it to be microwavable instead of doing the recipes and cooking and testing and actually implementation of the things that we create. So I challenge you here. I challenge you. Why do most people struggle? And already you can go back to the beginning of the video. I'm not going to. We're moving forward. Last thing, not a lifelong learner, and move forward. Move forward. Move forward. Don't always look back. And when I mean don't always look back, don't look back to dwell on the things that got you here. Look back to connect the dots. The more I got gratitude, the more I got grateful, the more I started understanding God's ultimate purpose, right? God is the sovereign ruler of my life. And so I'm in charge of the assignment because he's in charge of me and he's given me assignment over my life. And so it's my responsibility to be the very best version that I can be. And it's your responsibility. Just do your job. Coming up 5/5/24. We'll do a big release thing after Cinco de Mayo. That's your job. It's your responsibility. It's ultimately your job to take your life in hands and not to be a lazy learner, expecting somebody or something to magically happen for you. Okay, so if I can leave you with 3 things: my pillar of gratitude, expect positive experiences. Pillar of gratitude. Pillar of gratitude. Okay, I'm back in the picture. Small wins. Expect great things to happen. Track and count those things. Count and track those moments. Count and love your life the way God has designed it. Now, you may be struggling. If you're struggling, hit me up, coach4x.com. Hit me up on Instagram, Threads, Twitter, or Facebook at coach4x. And I'm here to help you. The thing that you're going to struggle with and the problem that you have, and you got to realize you need a team and you need a coach. I don't know why people think they don't need these things. So they'll go through life struggling, wondering, but they won't go call somebody and say, hey, I need help. And I'm a person like that. I'm like that. in certain areas of my life. I have mentors, I have coaches, I have people. This company right here wouldn't have been started without my mentor. When I'm saying yes to the opportunity and saying I'm going full force in there. And so, yeah, I'm passionate about this here. I'm passionate about seeing you get over that hump. I'm passionate. I've been there. The climb sucks, right? It's not the top of the climb that really bothers you. It's the way down. And so you got to be aware, right? You're going to be up and down, but you got to know when to turn around. It's a great book. You need to read this Quit book by Andy Duke. It's great. You got to know when to turn around, and you gotta find the things. And so I recommend, if you're struggling with money, there's tons of resources out there, but you have to be prepared to receive. When your heart is ready to receive, your heart is focused on the things that God has for you, then it becomes a lot easier to see these wins, to be grateful, to have gratitude. And it's tough, man, but you're not going to do it alone. No man is an island. Stop thinking that, okay? So I'm off my rant for today. I hit my goal. I'm at video 5. I got to go make 48 more shorts, right? So I got to go make 48 more shorts. And YouTube's going to get me off probation or something crazy like that. And this is me. I'm being me. And so life is good, man. And I'm grateful. And some people are gonna like it, some people don't. I can't help it. They like it or love it. They don't like, they love it, they like it. They don't like it, they dislike it. They don't love it, they hate it. Okay, that's on you. I'm gonna be me because somebody needs to hear this message. Somebody needs to hear this. And maybe it took me multiple YouTubers of these motivational speakers and inspirational coaches before I found the thing that clicked and my brain really latched into it, because I got tired of not living my life to the best of my ability. And that's just something that you have to learn and grow from, okay? And I got to learn to grow this YouTube thing. I got to learn to talk and communicate. I had a challenge this morning, learning to communicate better, learning to have those hard conversations. Here's the next thing, and I'm going to put this on the board. So everybody got my visualization. I don't want to destroy this, so I'm going to put it right here. You guys ready? Hey, pay attention. Stay with me here. Have the hard convo. With who? Yourself first, then that person. You know who that person is, or that job. You're afraid to do this, and that's why you're really struggling. Let me be honest with you. You know what I mean? I've been there. I've been there. Trust me, I know. You can't fool me. I know. There's a whole collage of things. So, gratitude, being a constant learner, and have the hard conversations. I've had to have a lot of hard conversations. They're not fun. Okay? Have the hard conversations. Have hard conversations. And who cares what people thinks? Have hard conversations with those people when they say something. Be like, so what is your problem with what I'm trying to accomplish? Ask them that. Ask them, what is their problem? What? It's because it's their insecurities. I guarantee you it's their insecurities. They're insecure because they're looking at you because you have the audacity enough to listen to me. You have the audacity enough to pursue it. And they're in the sidelines watching. I just posted this on my Instagram too. It's so funny that I'm thinking about this. They're watching you in the game. Instead of getting in the game, they don't know how to check into the game. You know, like when I first started coaching athletes, and I was like, hey, go check in. They run out on the court. Oh, hey, you can't do that. That's illegal. That's against the rules, right? And so it's like, hey, got to check in at the score table. Oh, coach, I don't know how to do that. Okay, well, you're standing right there, and whenever the clock stops, that buzzer in. Some people ain't doing that. They're over on the sideline watching you coach or play or ref, and they're eating their popcorn, and they're enjoying the show, and they're spending their little $5 to $1,000 to $20,000 to watch you perform. I'm not trying to watch nobody perform. I'm in the game. I'm getting in the game. And this is the brand, Ford X Basketball Academy, Ford X Empire, Ford X LLC, Coach Ford X. Yeah, I'm doing all that. Why? Because I'm not boxing myself in. I'm not going away from what God has given me. And God has very plainly said we all have a blessing or a birthright that He's given us if we go get it. And so you can't be distracted from that, man. And I hope that this blesses you. I hope that you have a great day. I'm going to give you the last little bit. Have the hard combo, gratitude, and I like these little figures. I've been doing these little drawing figures. I don't know if you guys can see that, but here, I'm in the way. But I've been doing these. I've been enjoying it, and it gives me some relaxation, honestly. to draw and think. And getting back to creative, here's the thing, here's another thing, here's another nugget. You're running away from being creative and imaginative because you don't believe in your ability to be creative or imagination because somebody told you and they told you needed permission to be great. Have a great day.